Okay, we're back with Jordan Chain, our Zwift and bike racing expert, one of our coaches, and he is helping us understand and navigate a little bit more about our own experience on Zwift. So good to have you back, Jordan. And here's one of the ones that I always have lots of questions about myself when I'm on Zwift. And this is really getting into the computer game part of it, but it's fun, right? And that is, what do all those little things that fly around on the screen over your bikes mean, right? Like what are they saying? You hear about power-ups, you hear about aero helmets, you see feathers, the van, that's a new one for me. So can you just go through all of those for us? Tell us what they're about and how to use them.
Yeah, so Zwift from the beginning as a platform has been sort of gamified. There's always bonuses you can earn, new things, and power-ups, they're called, are a big part of the game. And that's your cycling experience. They allow you to go a bit faster than maybe you could in real life for a short period, or maybe keep up to people you might not be able to keep up to for short periods. So there's a group of them, and the three main ones you get riding around normally on Zwift are called, colloquially, the helmet, the feather, and you'll see me deploy a couple of those in the video in the background. But that's the three main ones, and so we can go through those. It's simple. The aero helmet makes you more aerodynamic for 15 seconds. It cuts your drag in half. So, if you're 6 feet tall, it turns you into a little 3-foot tall speedster for 15 seconds, and it'll boost your speed a few K an hour, and you can close a gap or you can win a sprint. If you're going to sprint against someone or for time, you want the helmet. It makes a big difference. And then the other one is the feather. That's 15 seconds as well, and it makes you 10 kilos lighter for 15 seconds, which is a big deal. That'll usually move you up like a 1.5 watt per kilo, depending on where you're riding. Yeah, it's huge. And, you don't need to diet for a year to lose your 20 pounds. You just lose it. And so obviously you want to use those on steep climbs. Obviously, that's where it makes the big difference. And then the third one, which people don't like as much, but it's a bit more subtle and nuanced, is the van. And the good part is it's 30 seconds long, so it's twice as long. And that reduces, if you're behind someone or you're behind a group, you need people in front of you or else it's pointless to use. But the draft in front of you is going to be twice as effective for those 30 seconds. So say theoretically you're doing 200 watts, now you can do 100 watts or so and stay in the group. And those are really nice if you're on the rivet and you've been under pressure for a long time. Press the van, you can get a breath and then get back on the power. So those are your three. And you can use them throughout the normal game.
A little bit like when the commissar car comes by and you manage to jump on the bumper for a little bit.
We never draft.
Or something like that.
Never draft cars.
Never. So those are pretty cool. Now, how you say you deploy them? How do you deploy them?
Yeah, so the way you deploy them if you have your app and you're in the game on your app, there's a button that says power up and you press it and it goes. And if you have your computer, it's pretty simple too. You just hit the space bar and it'll go. And then in terms of like using them wisely, every time you go through a banner, so every time you go through a lap on Zwift or to the top of a climb or through a sprint, you're going to get a new power up. But you'll only get a new one if you've used your old one. So you want to use them, and if you can't save them up and keep 10 of them, you got to use them as you go. And sometimes you're not going to get a power up. That's super annoying. Sometimes you'll get what's called a bonus, which is just extra points towards the next bike or whatever you're earning on Zwift. And that's like crushing if you're in a race. But, usually you'll get one of the power-ups and you can use it.
And that's just like the guy at the Zwift headquarters going, yeah, we're just going to give him a bonus this time. Not a feather. Or not an aero helmet.
Yeah, a small bonus.
You gotta give it.
We should talk about the other. We should talk about the other two power-ups that you liked, though. The
Oh,
special
the
ones, the
ghost
racing
and the
ones.
burrito? Those ones?
Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah, so those ones are from, they were way back in the original game, and people don't really like them, so they didn't stick around, but they will show up in races. Certain races, you can select which power-ups as the organizer. And so the burrito makes you undraftable, second way burrito. So
Oh,
if you're attacking, you hit that, nobody can draft you for 10 seconds, and you can get your gap. It works okay. It's kind of funny though, really. And then the ghost is kind of what you would think. It makes you invisible for 15 seconds, I think 10 or 15. So same thing. If you want to make a move, or maybe you're even struggling at the back and you don't want people to know, you hit the ghost and you'll disappear completely. Your power won't show up anymore on the side. And so you're incognito
nobody
for
knows what
15
you're up
seconds,
to
and
from
that's
the...
cool. It's not going to help. It's not going to help as much, but it's kind of funny.
But the breakaway burrito would be awesome if you've never been able to get your attack, so your big power, like your big sprints up to be able to actually move away from a group. Just use that burrito, a little bit of extra help, right?
Yeah.
So I suspect somebody without a good sprint thought of that one. You what?
Yeah, exactly. I have a good breakaway burrito story. I was leading out my teammate for a sprint on Zwift. I had the lead out and I go and I pull off and he sprints through. And then I hit the breakaway burrito so the other sprinters behind can't draft me.
Nice.
And so it worked. No draft. They just get held up, like the sit up in real life. So they're all fun, and don't worry about them too long. They don't make a huge difference, but they're fun, and you should use them because it makes your life easier.
Yeah, and just quickly to touch on a real life example, and that would be at the World Championships, the Zwift World Championships. Just tell me a little bit about the finish 5K or so of that, because I know there were power-ups flying around and all kinds of things happening at the end of the race there.
Yeah, at the end. So with 5K to go in the World Championships, we went through a sprint banner, a lap banner, and then at the top of the climb, you get another KOM. So you have another power-up. So you have 3 power-ups in 5K. And so, if you're smart, you're using all of them. And so through the sprint, I came into the sprint with a power-up. I used it before then. I hit the aero. Through the sprint, I get another aero. So I used it again, and I'm breaking away with these power-ups. And if I had gotten just a bit further to the lap line, I would have got a third one and used it again. And so that's an example of I knew the game a little bit, and I'm using these power-ups to, try to keep up with some of the best riders in the world.
Right, right. Now that was good entertainment, but if you don't understand it all, it's kind of hard to follow. So well, that's great, Jordan. Thanks a lot. That was some fun insight. And like we were saying, you can join in with Jordan and some of the tag rides and the training sessions that we put on, and learn to play with your own power-ups. Talk to you next time.
Yes, you can.